We've got our panel session for the next 45 minutes. We're talking about social software in the workplace and behind the firewall. And what I'll do is I'll just give a very quick intro, and then I'm going to hand over to our panelists who are going to share some of their experiences with us so we can then move into a discussion. I'm the Worldwide Director of Marketing Technology at a company called Hill & Knowlton, which is a very large PR agency, although I'm not a PR person as such, so please don't throw things at me. I'm also the author of a book called Enterprise 2.0, How Social Software Will Change the Future of Work. And fully disclosed, just in case we get on to talking about social bookmarking in any way, I'm also the chairman of a company which produces a social bookmarking solution for companies to use inside the firewall. So I just want to kick things off and really sort of set the scene. And for me, nothing really sums up the influence of social media in the workplace better than one of the theses in the Cluetrain Manifesto, which I know gets banded around quite a lot and everyone's a bit bored with it. But actually it's worth remembering that book is now almost 10 years old. And a lot of what it says is still extremely relevant today. And there is one thesis there which I think is great. It basically goes along the lines of, we know some people from your company. They're pretty cool online. Do you have any more like that you're hiding? And can they come out to play? And I think that's really, really nice. And I think it sums up a lot about what's happening. And 10 years on, most companies are still trying to hide those people away. And guess what? Those people want to go out and play. They want to talk. They want to engage in these social networks for professional purposes. And that's the power of social software, I think, and why I think it will change the future of the workplace, and also why we're here and assemble this illustrious panel for you. But before I introduce them, I just want to frame the discussion a little bit. And really what we're going to talk about are two things. We're talking about the use of social media by employees to hold external conversations. So things like corporate blogging, so official blogging on behalf of companies. How do we encourage our employees to actually get out there and tell the story? It goes back to the very first session this morning. And the second thing is the use of social software inside the firewall. So how can we use some of these tools to encourage internal communication, to get people collaborating much better together? So they're the two things we're going to touch on. And actually, there was a research report from Forrester last month which predicts that those two segments of what they're calling the enterprise web 2.0 market will be worth globally about £2.3 billion by 2013. Okay? So there is some clear evidence that companies are actually ready to start putting some serious money behind this stuff. So there's case studies abound for what is called Enterprise 2.0. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming out of the US, mainly driven by the guy who came up with the term Enterprise 2.0, which is someone called Andrew McAfee. And the great thing is we're lucky enough to have some of the leading UK proponents of that theme on our panel today. So, is social software in the workplace a platform to discover tomorrow's leaders, or is it something that can sink the company's image? What actually is it, and how do we get started? How does it all fit into our existing governance structures and the existing things that we have? And what do we do with the content that it creates? These are all the kind of questions that anyone who's starting to explore this area is going to start looking at. And does it even finally, thank God, kill off the corporate intranet? Is that something that we can start thinking about seriously? So that's what I hope we are going to find out through our session. So without further ado, I will introduce our panel here and ask them to just sort of, we'll go around and we'll just ask them to share some of their experience with us, and I'm sure they'll pick up on different themes, and then I'm going to frantically take notes and see if there's anything common that comes out of there, and then I'll get them talking again, and then we'll open it out to the floor, and we can really give them a grilling, hopefully, and get our money's worth. Just to introduce everyone here, on my left, starting on my left, I've got Struan Robertson. Struan is a technology lawyer from the law firm Pinsent Mason, not Pinsent Masons, as you will see in your brochure. Now I corrected the proof for you. For the past 8 years, he's run a very, very successful site called Outlaw.com. For the firm, which is a popular legal news and information site with a focus on technology law issues. So hopefully he'll be able to share some of that. We've also got Richard Dennison. Richard is probably one of the first people in a FTSE 100 company to have the phrase social media in his job title. I don't know if that's correct, but it's probably one of the first. And at BT, he has created internal Wikipedia clones and also focused quite a lot on policies to how to govern effective use of the media. We're also lucky to have Ruth Ward. Ruth is probably one of the earliest UK enterprise 2.0 pioneers, I would say. I remember being at a conference probably about 2 years ago where this was an intranet conference where there was a session there about social media, and Ruth ran that, and everyone in the room was looking blank, and she'd already done it, and we were all sat there, what are blogs and wikis? And she'd already done it in her organisation, so I'm really, really pleased about that. And last but not by no means least, we've got Lee Bryant on the end. Lee set up a consultancy called Headshift, which is one of the first enterprise social software consultancies in the UK. So he's worked with a lot of companies, and both in private sector and public sector, to help them get the best out of their social tools.